Good morning, MacLaren. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, 2020. The weather today, sunny, high near 60 degrees. The sun rose this morning at 6:55 a.m. and will set at 7:15 p.m. On this date, March 24th, 1721, the great composer Johann Sebastian Bach dedicates a set of concertos to an aristocrat who was called the Margrave of Brandenburg Schwed. And these six compositions come to be known as the Brandenburg Concertos. And you will get to play them in orchestra in eighth grade. Also on this date, March 24th, in the year 1853, a Canadian newspaper called the Provincial Freeman was first published in Ontario, Canada, right across the border from the United States. So, what was so notable about this newspaper? Well, it was an anti slavery, an abolitionist newspaper, and an African American woman was one of the editors. Her name was Mary Ann Shadd, and her story is fascinating. She grew up in a family that hid fugitive slaves in their home. They were conductors on the Underground Railroad. And when in 1850 the United States passed the atrocious Fugitive Slave Act, which threatened to send free blacks from the North and slaves who had escaped from the South to the North, when the Fugitive Slave Act threatened to send them back into bondage, back into slavery, this woman, Mary Ann Shadd, and her brother Isaac moved to Canada and they settled there across the border from Detroit. And so she began this huge effort to create free black settlements in Canada. She founded a racially integrated school in the 1850s, and she ran this abolitionist newspaper called the Provincial Freeman. Incidentally, this made her the first black female editor in North America. Today, I want to remind you of the story of the Edelweiss pirates. So, those of you who were at MacLaren in the first year of the lower school may remember this story. So, who were the Edelweiss pirates? Well, they were groups of kids and teenagers, not a lot older than you, in Germany in the 1930s, and they were opposed to the Nazis. And you have to understand that at this time, the Nazi Party was really controlling everything in society in Germany, and was really controlling the lives of kids through this organization called the Hitler Youth. So all kids had to be part of the Hitler Youth, and it was controlled pretty much every aspect of their lives. So the Edelweiss Pirates, who were not one specific group, but were just a whole loose association of kid groups all across Germany, the Edelweiss Pirates were free to say what they thought. They encouraged each other to express what they believed, and they generally objected to the way that the Nazis were trying to control the lives of young people in Germany. Um, at this time, your education in Germany was totally controlled by the Nazi Party, and when you got out of school in the afternoon and the evening, your time then was really controlled by the Hitler Youth. So the Edelweiss Pirates resisted all this, um, and they did things that would seem really innocuous to us now. They went on hiking trips and camping trips, and they sang songs that had been banned by the Nazis. These were mainly blues songs or jazz songs that had come over from France. The Nazi Party said you couldn't sing those songs. They would have open discussions that had been forbidden in the cities. And at first, the authorities didn't pay them any attention. So if they got caught, the big punishment then was that the authorities might shave the kids' hair off. But once the war began, the Nazi regime started to be worried about these kids. They said these kids were disloyal to Adolf Hitler. And so they began to think that they were dangerous. And the government began to crack down on the Edelweiss pirates. They started to arrest kids and even send them to work camps. One Nazi authority wrote that Edelweiss pirates should be given thrashings and put through the severest drill and set to work. It must be made clear that they will never be allowed to go back to their studies. We must investigate how much encouragement they have had from their parents. And yet, despite all the danger, the Edelweiss pirates became only more active and rebellious against the Nazis. They started hiding people whom the authorities were trying to arrest, and they helped people who refused to fight for the Nazi army. The German authorities never managed to break the spirit of the Edelweiss pirates. So all of you keep tending to your victory gardens, keep a good schedule, keep a routine, get a lot of fresh air and exercise, be a helper to your family, don't squabble with your siblings. If it is your birthday today, March 24th, 2020, happy birthday. I hope you have a day of kindness, friendliness, and peace. My friends, we are all in this together. We'll see you next time.